Recording.
Yeah, we'll continue. Just a real quick reminder, you should have received an email about the election for next season's board members. That vote is still open through the 31st, so be sure to, if you've not already, make sure you go out, hit the link, and cast your votes, including any number of write-ins for many of these positions. So, reminder on that front. Moving on. Tonight's judge has a legend that he maintains assiduously to keep away from the feds. But no, Jeff really does. So those of us who have been around the club, needs no introduction. Former president for multiple terms. He's been in the club. He has won countless ribbons and a bird aficionado, mostly from his back deck.
Mm-hmm.
None of them nest in his beard. He swears by it. But anyway, tonight's judge, Jeff Johnson.
Welcome, Jeff. You need to unmute. You're muted. Sorry.
Hello. How are you?
Excellent.
Great to hear everybody, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen while you're talking. So.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. That's like technical.
Yeah, that's trying to get through the stuff this morning.
Yeah.
Cheryl sent me a message the other day saying that these were ready for me to view, and it was quite fun. I think I've got about 18, 20 pages of notes, but I write big so I can see them. You might see me switching off of glasses here, so don't pay attention. I got to see the screen with these, and I got to be able to read print with these. So just set up here. So
and just so you know, there were two really late entries. Just so you know.
Yeah, I got those.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure you saw.
Yeah, I caught your I got your message, and I went in and looked.
Awesome.
This is I wrote it down, but I guess I ended up tossing that page because my notes were so not writable. The theme for this is
in your backyard.
In your backyard.
Your backyard. Okay.
In my yard was the
in
name
my
of the
yard.
So I'm taking this that it's either in your yard or you're seeing it from your yard. So it's some people have some nice fun backyards, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and get started here.
Okay, let me I forgot, what's the key P?
Yeah, F5, F6 will take the top, bottom, tab will take the sides.
Really?
Yeah. Nah, it's a little too big.
Too big?
Can you bring it? Yeah, no. Okay.
Here, I can do that.
Yeah, that might be that's pretty good, because I was looking them off of the Google Drive.
Yeah.
So some of them were big enough where I could enlarge them and look into the image. Others were so small I could barely see them on my computer screen, and actually had to go get my iPad. So for those of you who are entering, especially for digital, I've even said this a couple times when I was when I've judged when we were in the clubhouse when we had prints. Don't make them so small. 5x7 small. You want like 8x10, 11x14. Make them big, present them big. Be proud of your work to let someone see what you got there. They are more spectacular when you can see them, a little bit bigger than just a little snapshot. And but there was a couple in here that were really tiny. It was hard to see. Let's go ahead here. So I believe this might be a dahlia, but I'm not in on that. The colors are great. It has a nice soft bokeh. The highlights though a little up, could maybe just tone it down a little bit. I'm thinking you might want to give this just a little bit more room to grow. Maybe pull back a little bit. The focus is off a little bit. Your focus is above the bulb, and you want to draw you want to make the person look at it. You want to bring it in. And when I'm looking into this image, you're making me go past so much of the subject to see the focus point on top. And I should be seeing it, a little bit into the bulb and the leaves in front of that bulb. You could open this up a little bit as far as your aperture. If you were macro is a very, very fine focal point. So if you're using a macro lens that might be a 2.8 or a 4, you need to really open this thing up to like maybe f11, f13 to get more of this in focus. If you do that on a normal lens, you're going to pull too much. But with the macro lens, you really need to open up that focal point to let this beautiful little flower shine. Okay, so let's go ahead here and go to the next image. Now the pink trios. The photographer had a great idea here of doing trios. Odd is always better for some reason on the human brain than it is evens. You did a nice presentation here of showing one of these flowers in full bloom, one of these flowers, the one off to the left, in a partial bloom, and then of course the one on the top, not even in bloom. So you've got different stages of life for this flower, and it's kind of cool what you did here. I like to do it a lot when I'm over at Kenilworth. The composition, though, it needs a little bit of room. It needs some room to breathe. That top flower is just, I think it's just a little too close to the edge. It's hugging it a little bit. And then this beautiful pink bloom here on the bottom, it's a little close. So I would suggest maybe pulling back a little bit, giving these flowers room to grow as they would normally do in nature. I can see what you're trying to do, but you need a little bit more room to breathe. Okay, so let's go ahead to the next one, please. Now this is, I'm enjoying this because I'm thinking of just sitting in this field and enjoying this view. For me, I don't know, work has been a bear for me this week. So when I was judging these, this was a little bit of a relief from what I was doing with work. It was very peaceful, very calming, very soothing. When I did do when I was looking at these here, I tried to make sure I wasn't just off work and looking at these. I gave myself a little bit of time so I could calm down, put on some fun music to enjoy this. And sitting here looking at this gave me some relief as well, and it was very enjoyable. There's a little bit of heaviness on the upper left, or excuse me, the upper right, that I'm looking at this image. You've got that tree line, and then there's a drop, but there's some stuff on the edges that just appear because they're coming from out of the scene and into the image. I suggest just cloning those out to take away those distractions. But other than that, it's a nice, peaceful little image. So let's go ahead and go to the next one. I love the colors on these. They're kind of in your face. The greens have a little bit of haze in it. I think that I'm wondering if that's from the processing. The colors though are a little high, but the reds aren't really blown out, even though reds are one of the first colors to get blown. you know, got a much color, a little bit too much exposure in them. I'm looking on the screen here. I'm trying to find a focal point though to bring my eye in, and I'm getting lost. So I keep going around in the petals, on the edges of the petals, and I can see a little bit of focus. But I want this picture to draw me in and draw me into the yellow. So again, if you're using a macro lens, you know, open up the aperture, let the camera grab more of this image. Also too, a lot of the newer cameras now will allow focus stacking, where you can tell it to take, you know, certain amount of images and change the focus point as you go through the image. Then you pull it into like Photoshop, tell Photoshop stacks it, and it presents the whole flower much better. But I like this. As far as the colors, it's a nice pop. It gives you a little bit of, you know, emotion, some feeling on it. But I'm getting lost because I really can't find a focus point to anchor myself. So let's go ahead to the next one. This little thing here is pretty. I can't remember the name of this flower. There used to be a bunch of them up the hill for me, but this stamen is really nice. The purple surrounding this yellow is just punch. It's just really, it really grabs you. The greens behind it, maybe pull it down just a little bit if you can, you know, maybe put a small darkening vignette on this so it'll calm down the background a little bit and bring you in more into the stamens. There's a couple things down here on the bottom left of the screen that are poking up on the edge. You can clone those out, or a darkening vignette will get those out of the way. As I look into the flower, that white that's down in the bottom left keeps drawing my eye over, and it's distracting me out of the out of what you're wanting me to show. But otherwise, I'm really enjoying this image. So let's go ahead to the next one. And the snake, it was quite to see everybody. I see so many people freaking out on Facebook and in the local communities. There's a snake, there's a snake. And I'm glad to see someone's like, hey, there's a snake, go get the camera. So, so this is to see, instead of someone, you know, trying to shoot it with a cell phone as they're running away from it. Though it's in the hotter part of the day, the light is harsh. It is kind of just a snapshot to see, and I know the person who's taking the shot is standing up and taking it down and pointing down to it. It's hard to say this when it's a snake for some people, but when you have creatures and animals at ground level, you are best to get at ground level with them so you can be more direct in getting the shot. This is if you look on the back, the part of the snake that's just past the head, there's some, you know, there's some heavy highlights there. They're blown. I know you don't dictate when you get visited by a snake, but if this happened to be one that you just saw, you did a very well job. If it happened to be one that you normally visits you, you know, you might have had an opportunity to grab a better shot. So let's see here. Let's go to the next one, please. So this is I like the moodiness of this. I love the whites in it. They're not blown. They're close, but they're blown. They're white and you can see whites encapsulated. It kind of looks like cotton getting ready to pop out. And then the pinks throughout add a little bit to this, but again, there's no focus that's bringing me into this. I think the focus is on this top one here at about 11, 12 o'clock. But everything below it is it's just there. I keep searching because they're whites. I keep searching for something to bring me into a certain area. I know this is the novice, and I can remember 15, 16, 17 years when I picked up a digital camera after many years of not picking up my film. Flowers, I went crazy with flowers. And I could see the image in my head, but I just couldn't get it onto the image. And with some work, I believe you're going to be able to present. You're going to be able to present some great images once you get a little bit more involved in the photography. But I do like the moodiness. I do love the colors. I'm kind of searching for that focus point to keep me into the picture. So let's go ahead to the next one, please. See, this is beautiful. This is soft. It's glowing. It's there's a bit of a vignette. It's a little hard. You can kind of see the edges, but other than it's nice. I think this was in one of the images where I was able to. I think this is one of the images where I was able to get into the image on Google Drive and look inside, and the person handled the focus pretty well. Though the yellow isn't in focus, it's not as out of focus as I would think until I got into it. The aperture, you could have opened up a little bit to get a little bit more inside your focus area. The one thing that I could say is that behind this flower is another flower, and the little bit of white that's above it is kind of bugging me. These beautiful, gorgeous purple colors, these lilacs, and then that white in the back. But other than that, I'm really enjoying this because it was presented. It's presented well. You're making me see what you want me to see, and I'm thankful for that. So let's go ahead here to, what is it? The next one, number 9, the horse. Again, this was another image that I was able to get into the image. The focus on the horse is great there at the eye, and you can see it. You can see it well. But the way it's presented, the composition it's a little awkward for me. But I do enjoy the difference of how this is being presented, other than just taking a quick, simple picture of a horse to do a maybe vertical or a portrait. So I see what you did here, and I enjoy it for that. The highlights are handled well. For you having that sun come right in, right on a dark subject, for you to get the darks out and not blow the highlights on the other parts of the horse, it's really nice. The only thing that's I would say is that on the bottom left of this image, clone that out. It's drawing my eye. You want me looking at that horse. You don't want me looking at that white. So are we already finished on the color?
Yeah. There were 9
Okay.
in the first one. So that's a first, second, and third.
1, 2, and 3.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Do you need me to go through them again, or can you see everything well?
no, I'm good. I'm good. I have my notes here. So what I'm calling into the field is number 3, right? That's the 3rd place winner.
Oh, that's 3rd place. Okay.
And then the purple
Crocus.
crocus. Thank you. That's yeah. That's going to be. Can you Can you let me see that one again? And then show me the pink one, number 8. This is number 2 and the crocus is number 1.
So what was the pink one was?
You want to start with third place, Cheryl?
The third place was,
The field.
it was the Fields of Gold by Shannon Gilmore.
Oh. I don't know if Shannon's on. Okay.
Second place was the, hold on, got my numbers. This is Pretty in Pink by Tammy.
Excellent. Tammy, are you on? Nope. And first place?
It is The Crocus by Pam Miller.
Excellent. Yay. I know Pam's on.
Yeah, I'm here. I was right in front of my condo.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Perfect. And John, are you watching the chat? Because I can't see it and people are popping in on there.
I am watching chat. Let me make sure nobody slipped in while I was. Oh yeah, so there was a discussion about the digital guidelines at 1200 on 1200 pixels on the long side. Other than that, everybody was just saying great image.
All right, cool. All right, so you want to jump to novice monochrome?
Yep, we're good. It's number 10 here.
Yep.
So the bunny and the stump. I got names for each of these as I went by, just so I wouldn't mess them up. So I really enjoy this one. This was one that I could dig into it a little bit. And I enjoy it as I got a little closer into it. I enjoy it. The rabbit and the stump was in focus, and the leaves were, you know, the leaves, the grass, the high grass was falling off. Nice little bokeh, nice texture bokeh. So I enjoyed this one. The conversion was handled well. Though I'm thinking, in my head, I'm thinking the photographer may have want to crop in just a little bit to get a little bit more of the grass out of the way and to focus more on their subject. But other than that, I really enjoyed this one. So let's go ahead to the next one. Let's see, this one, I think I was trying to figure out what flower this is, and I couldn't. I think this might be the dahlia that I keep thinking of. I keep thinking of all these petals that keep opening up as the center gets bigger and bigger. One thing, the highlights on this were handled well. There's really nothing blown, but there's too much of this image. It's out of focus. And the whites have me going, because they're all white. They have me looking at each of them. You know, my brain wants to find the point, and I know the focus point is pretty well controlled here, but with the other whites, my brain keeps looking. So, and another thing is that there's 4 flowers in here, actually 3.5. And again, your brain kind of looks at this, and I wouldn't say there's chaos here, but the way your brain thinks, you want to see things in odds other than evens. If there was a way you could have, you know, you presented this in a square format, but if there was a way when you were taking this, if you could have gotten just the 3 on the top, the half one is keeps bringing me down because it's white and because it's half in the screens. I'm wondering if this could have worked. Like I said, with the format, it's square. I wonder if it could have worked in a vertical tilt from the right to the left, but it's just off balance. But again, when you're doing flowers and you see it in your head, and what you think you're going to get is different from what the image. And I struggled with this years ago when I first started taking pictures of flowers again. So, don't. I'm sorry for the pause. Something was on my screen. I wasn't sure what it was. I apologize. So let's go ahead here to the next one, the white horse. I just love that horse looking back like, what are you doing behind me? Why are you behind me? There's a small little white vignette on this, kind of adds a little bit to it. The one thing, it's a little off balance because of where the horse is positioned, so close to the right of this image. I'm wondering if you could have tilted your camera over just a little bit to where you don't need like an inch and a half of what's on the left. I think this would have been much better with giving that horse a little bit of room to run. You're always wanting it to have room to run out of the picture if you're doing it. I think it's just a little close. So let's go ahead to the next one, please. Irises. Again, irises are trouble. I have big problems photographing these guys, and I've seen other people do wonderful jobs with them. I understand. I can see what you're wanting to do here with focusing on the top leaves and the textures in the leaves and the water droplets. But again, it's kind of one-sided in color, and I keep dropping off to the left where that beard of the iris of the plant is, down here in the 7 o'clock area. It's a little hard in its texture and its processing, but I see what you were doing here with the texture and wanting to highlight the water droplets. Presented it in the square, it works, but I just think it's a little harsh. A flower is soft and delicate, and I think this is just a little too harsh. So the next one, please. Yeah. Okay. So the white flower with the bulbs on there. I like the black and white on this, where it's the flower is there and the background is not. I wish there was a little bit more room on the bottom left where those two buds weren't crowded. I think if you would have had at least another inch at the bottom, this would have really been a much better composition. The flower itself, though, it's not in focus. There's nothing drawing me in. But I just a little bit more, that being in focus and a little bit more work on that bottom left, I think you would have had something really nice here. So let's go ahead to the next one, please. See, this is another serene image. A great image to see that first night. I believe Monday night I was looking at these. This is Thursday, yeah. So maybe Monday night I was looking at these, or Tuesday night. I think no, it's Tuesday night. I'm sorry. To be able to sit and look at this thing on my screen was very, very, very therapeutic. nice rolls, the nice shadows, the nice rolls of the grass, the roll of the tree lines, the clouds, nice and puffy. I would say though, at the bottom left and the bottom right of this image, you wanted to make them a little darker. As much as I'm trying to look in the tree line, my eyes are being pulled. The exposure is not the same for the grass up to the very edge of both bottoms. So, but I enjoyed this one. This was a nice, serene, little therapeutic image for me. Next one, please. The flower with the low profile is what I called this one. I'm having trouble seeing what you want me to see in this. But the exposure is handled well. The highlights are good. They're maybe just the small portion where they could be just pulled back a little bit as you look right into the image. I'm wondering if you could have gotten lower on this and focused across the top of the image to give you more of, I believe you're trying to present the textures of these leaves. And I'm just wondering if you could have gotten down just a hair and crossed the plane of the flower, if it would have given you a stronger image. I will say though, on the left of the screen here, there's a lot of there's a lot of poking in from out of the picture. You could have simply cloned those. The little bit of white on the right of the screen, you could have cloned that out as well. You want to keep the person viewing the image, you want to keep them in your image, and those little distractions keep pulling me out. So okay, and then the next one, please. This one kind of puzzled me for a little while, but I understand what the photographer was doing by not having this in focus. You're going maybe a little abstract, something different, and I can follow along with it. But it's got my eyes wondering where I need to be looking at. I know it's close up, so even though it's close up, I still need something to draw me into the image. Excuse me, draw me into the image and keep me there. I'm kind of wandering around a little bit. That one hard spot up from the center of the excuse me, from the center of the flower, that one hard spot is you could have cloned that out and you would have had a better point there. All right. Okay, so I'm sorry, we're through it already. Okay.
That's right. There were 8 images, so we get a first and second.
We got a first and a second.
Yes, sir.
Can you the flower images that you see here, I don't know how are you able to pull stuff out, or you just need to pull stuff in?
What do you mean?
The 3 image, well, these are all the images?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh.
You only got 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 8, duh. I'm sorry. the bunny's the number one.
Okay.
Great.
That was just a clean. And as much as I love that horse, I wish there was a little bit of room. If I can give the horse an honorable mention, I would. But the landscape is number two.
Okay. You can give an honorable mention if you'd like.
Well, the horse, it deserves it. It deserves it.
Okay.
So let me see.
All right. So who's the horse belong to?
The horse is Shannon Gilmore. It's my boy Blue.
Nice.
Shannon is, I got to say, if that's your backyard view, that's awesome.
She better invite us over for an end of year party.
Yeah. Second place winner is also Shannon.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, that's
That
like
was
over off of
good time.
Sugarland, it looks like.
Peaceful Pastures.
nice.
Number one is The Bunny by Carolyn.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Excellent. Is Carolyn on?
Yeah, I'm on.
Great.
There was plenty of room to give him room, of course, but that he's like maybe 80% of that picture was grass. So
Yeah.
but
gra-
that
the-
was the few lucky
yeah, the-
shots I got of the bunnies around here that don't disappear immediately.
Yeah.
Kind of hung out.
So
Beautiful. Very well
Thank you.
done.
enjoyable.
Out this evening. We go hang out with Shannon.
I'm hanging out with Shannon too. She's got good yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Probably a
kidding.
lot of bunnies. All right. So now we're getting into intermediate, and this is going to be about double the amount. So
Yeah. I've got that down here.
You get 2 honorable mentions for this one.
2 honorables. Okay.
all right.
I really enjoy what the photographer did here. The work, the color, the I mean, that deep background really adds to these greens shining. I'm not sure how much control they had over the leaves and the water. I mean, to me, this looks set. And if it was set, I'm wondering if the photographer could have controlled the focal plane of taking this image. The middle of this image is in focus, and then it just kind of blurs off to the bottom right, upper right. So if this happened in nature, this is awesome. But I believe with that deep back, there's a background here maybe, or there's just a fall off between it and its subject. If this whole thing would be in focus, I would really be giddy over this one. So, but I enjoy this one. Let's see here. Go to the next one. Yes. This little dark-eyed Junco. This is just a cutie. I live for this stuff in the wintertime, so this is just beautiful to me. The fluffy snow, up its legs, the snow falling, the little bits of snow on the bird himself or herself. That's a he. It's a darker black eye. But I enjoy this, presenting this in the square format. It works very well. Was maybe a half stop more of light, because white forces your camera to go to 18% gray. So when you're taking pictures in snow, a lot of the times you have to add maybe a stop and a half to your to your exposures to bring out the darker the bird. Because the cameras will expose to 18% gray. But I really enjoy this, and I looked at this closer, and I really enjoyed the softness of the bird. It was handled well. The photographer didn't do a lot to disrupt nature on this one, and I really like that. Next one, please. Bleeding Hearts. This was handled well. The colors are great. The reds, the heavy pinks, they're not blown. I think I was able to get into this image just a little bit as well. The only thing is the front leaf. Give it a little bit more room, and make it a whole. Give it all whole. Make that whole section. You're using those front leaves to present those hearts, and it just needs. My head wants me to see those leaves fully, but other than that, I'm really loving this image. Again, it's another image that just gives you peacefulness. It gives you, a bit of serenity. And thank you for bringing it. The next one, please. Are these peonies?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. So the flowers are beautiful. The softness in them, the colors, the yellows, the pinks, the harder pink, and I shouldn't say harder pinks, but the deeper pinks. The flowers are really nice. The light is harsh, but the flowers, it was handled well. But it's busy with the harsh light behind it on those green leaves. It's busy. You're presenting a trio, which is perfect because my brain is calm. It's not offset. Looking at this image, though, the one on the right, there's some of it that's not in focus, and I'm wondering if maybe that leaf blew when you were taking the picture. But I wish. Just kind of wishing maybe this needs a little bit of a vignette or a light and darkened center, to remove the green leaves, the harshness on the green leaves a little bit. But the handling of the flowers is really nice. It's just what's around it that's off balancing this image. One other thing too is that if this is a backyard, you have time to control, your light. You go out earlier in the morning or later at night, and you can be able to tame the light on the green a little bit more. But I'm really enjoying the flowers. It's just the greenery that's off balancing me. So the next one, please. The bumblebee. This is presented well. It's framed. I really like the framing. The going across the top and down the right. The focus is just a bit off. It's more of the body of the bee. Maybe if you could have opened up a little bit, you could have gotten a little bit more depth of field. The bee itself is harsh. I know it's an insect. They're a little harsh, but with the fur is a little hard. Getting back to the focus, if you were using a macro lens, again, the macro lenses, even though they have similar apertures to what we have with normal other lenses, those depth of fields are very tight in a macro lens. So maybe open it up a little bit. instead of, f4. Even f4 is really tight on a macro lens. Maybe, go to like f8, f11, maybe even f13. Some of these macro lens goes up to 32, but you don't want to go that far because you get diffraction, and it starts, off-putting maybe after, f18 or something like that, depending on which lens. The B is just a little low in this. I don't know if you could have positioned yourself to get it a little higher in the image and still kept the framing, but I really like the framing on this, and the way the B is presented there. So let's go to next one, please. Okay. Looking at this here, I can see what the photographer wanted me to see. Again, it doesn't convey well to the image in your head, what you're seeing in nature. I can see what you're wanting to do. Again, it takes me back years to, oh, wow, that, it's there. And then when you put it on, on your screen and you process it, it doesn't convey as well as you may have thought. I do enjoy the grouping of this, the framing. The light is a little harsh. I'm wondering if you could have used these flowers and taken different angles of these, maybe looking up into the flower. But there's so much in this image. I'm trying to find the focus point, even though I know the focus point is here in the middle. I'm still being drawn out of what you want me to see because of that, especially on the back right of looking into this image. On the bottom left, you could have either vignetted or cloned that little bit of white out. I'm being drawn to areas where I know the photographer isn't wanting me to look. So next one, please. The foxes, kits, just caught in a heavy stare. It's like trying to figure out what that human is going to do next. If you just keep looking in their eyes, you just get sucked in. I'm loving that about these guys. I'm really liking the background on this. The reds, I guess that's is that like a red maple? I'm loving that as the background for these two guys because of their blondness, their reddish tint, their blonde reds. I like the texture. I like the texture curve of the fence line of the rock wall, I should say. I'm wondering though if you could have had this opened a little bit more to get a deeper depth of field. The fox in the middle seems to be more in focus than the one on the left, and the one on the left is more in front of it. If you look at the leaves of the tree off to the back, over the back of the one, they're in focus. That one is there. The middle fox is focused. But when you get to the one on the left, you lose the focus a little bit in its body where the other face is. This is, I hope this is like a daily visit for you in your backyard. This could be so much fun. I'd get my blind out and just sit there and wait for these guys to come through and just photograph away. I'm really enjoy this one. To the next one, please. Cooper. I am a bird freak and everybody knows it. And I love this bird. I love the beautiness of it, the feathers in front, the teardrops, the hearts that it makes. But the background, it's busy. I'm wishing that you would have maybe have darkened put a darkened vignette or used a darkened center. I don't know if my brother, I don't know if Jeff and them aren't on here still, but if anybody has watched Jeff's presentation for his black and white, when he talks about how he's making the subject pop by using a vignette or doing the dark and lighten center, which is in Nick's, what's that, Nick color effect on how you make your subject stand out. This would have been great to have the bird more focused with the little bit of the business out of this. But I just love this bird. So, to the next one, please. If this isn't spring, this is just great. 3 mouths to feed. I don't have a lot to say on this. This is a great backyard. This is a great backyard. And it's great to see these fledglings out, parents still taken care of. I'm sorry, I'm pausing. I'm just happy looking at this. All right, to the next one, please. The offset composition on this is perfect. I'm love that there is the focus of the subject, the yellow there to the right of the screen, and just lets the leaves flow out to the left. I get lost in these lines when I'm following these petals from the center. I get lost. You just follow them. They're delicate. It's a good thing. Maybe just a little bit more exposure to brighten up that yellow, that darkness in the middle. There's a couple imperfections in there that you might wanted to clone out. But I really like this one. Again, just looking at it now, I'm following these lines out of the center, and it's nice. So to the next one, please. Ah, Ruby. Again, I get lost. I get lost when it comes to nature. I'm sorry if I seem a little pausing here. This one's been, he's got a little bit of worn to him, a little bit of feathers poking out, new feathers coming in, the wrapping on the feathers on the top there on the nose hasn't left yet to get the new growth. The light is a little heavy, it's a little harsh. But this is nature. You get visits when you get visits. You can't control when you get them. The shutter speed maybe could be a little bit faster to get a little bit more in focus. You're never going to get those wings in focus, but this body should be. I'd like to see the body in a little bit more in focus. There's just a drop off with the focus on the head. The eye is a little bit more in focus than the rest of the body, and most of it's on the same plane. So I think a little bit faster of a shutter speed would have grabbed all that. I've been able to shoot hummingbirds at 1/100th of a second, 1/125th of a second, and been able to shoot them at like f8, f9. So I would suggest you could try that as well. This one gives me a smile, though. I enjoy this one. To the next one, please. So we have the swallowtail butterfly. Again, this one gives me a smile. It's nature. I love nature. I just love this type of photography. The light is a little hard. Again, if they're visiting your yard, it's hard to say when, but I know most of these haven't started to fully get out there and been hatched and started their stages. And there's probably still stage 2 right now and have 3 to 4 or 5 more stages to go so they can start their migration back south again. The little leaf on the left that just pokes out from the outside of the image, you could I suggest cloning that out. The stuff on the bottom right, I would clone that out as well, just to present what you want me to see. You're presenting me to the butterfly, and these a couple things are a little distracted, but again, it's my suggestion. It's how I would handle it to make it more subject forward. So to the next one, please. Another image that is perfect for me to look at when I was after work. This is just, this is beautiful. It's, heavenly. It's so soft, but handled so well. These purples, these lilacs, the whites are, I don't know. I think I'm being picky. The whites are handled well. You're getting beautiful light into the yellows. When I looked into this, I think this is another one I was able to look into. The softness, the focus works because you're bringing me right in there, right where you want me to see it, right. I have a note here, but I can't now. I can't see it. Oh yeah, the bottom left. There's a tight bit there in the bottom left that maybe distract out that, for lack of a better word, it kind of looks like a pimple, but I really enjoy this image. It's a nice, serene image. The great thing about this is that you've got these purples and these whites of these flowers that you're showing me here in the front. And then the bokeh, the backdrop of this, is again the same purple, the same flowers, but you've presented it so much that it doesn't fade into it. It doesn't disappear. I really like this. The next one, please. The cicada. I'm calling this the cicada with making a statement. He's making a stance. He's up on that top. He's like, if this is a male, he's rubbing. He's like, hey, ladies, come on, let's go. Let's do our thing. We gotta populate our species for the next 17 years. It's a little hard though. The treatment you used, a little hard on those flowers. The treatment allows the cicada to be presented well. These flowers aren't soft and delicate, but I think the treatment is making them too harsh. Maybe a little bit of vignetting could have added to this to get me to more focus into that, into the cicada, and I wouldn't be seeing some stuff around it that I don't think I need to see. this is like, he's like, again, he's up there, he's powerful, he's, it's like he's, presenting to his kingdom. He's up there looking at his people, at his other insects. I'm thinking though, you could have probably lost maybe a bottom inch or so of this and cropped it more in to make him stand out a little bit more in this vegetation. But I like what you did, just a little harsh. Next one, please. The seed head. I get lost in it, and it has extra puffs in it from other seed heads. It's just not round. It's you got all the stuff that's bunched up here at the 9 and 10 o'clock hour. You got a little one poking above at 12. You got one poking out at 3. It's in focus. It's handled well. The drop off from the seed head to the stem. You can still see the stem, but it's not heavy focused. It's there, and it's there. It has to be there because otherwise the seed head wouldn't have grown. Maybe a little, open it up just a little bit more. The square format works well on this one. Happy with this. Next one, please. Chickadee getting some seeds here. Let's see here. I had a little note here that I wanted to make sure, because there's one after this, another bird on a feeder here. These are great. The feeders are great to pull in nature, to get you to get them into your backyard. To birding is a great relaxation tool. Just to sit out, listen to them in the morning, listen to them maybe in the afternoon. It's a zen, it's a relaxation, it's therapy. So bringing them into you is great, because then you can watch them. You can, like with the bluebirds, you can watch them tend to their broods. Once the chickadee here though, it's just on its bird feeder, and it's handled well, but it's just on its bird feeder. And there's so much more that could come from this, inviting them into your backyard. If we can go to the one thing I wish on this, maybe just a little brighter, but let's go ahead and go to the next one, because it kind of matches up what I'm talking about with bringing birds into your backyard. This one is on the feeder. This is it's got the glitter eye. It's got that it's got that eye, flash eye. And it's presented well. This has definitely got to be a flash, and it just brightens it up. It brings out the beauty of the bird. That the black and white wings, that little redhead mohawk, the little downiness of its underbelly flowers, feathers. But I'm pretty sure this might be the same photographer. I live in a townhouse, and I live in a pretty populated area, and I have some trees behind me, and I've done a few things in my backyard to make the birds more presentable when I do want to photograph them. I've taken logs of driftwood from the Potomac, local lakes, and I've set them up in the back of my house so I can present these birds branches to allow me to take images of their beauty and to come up with some beautiful bird photography, some beautiful portraits, just like that bluebird, the bluebird earlier, where you had the babies with the parent. I have taken flower pots that I have on my deck rail. I've filled them with sand. I've shoved big branches in them, big branches of driftwood. I have I've had a red belly come in. I've had a redhead come in. I've had a downy come in, and they all come to this driftwood that I have sitting like 4 feet up in the air. And there's a couple slits in the driftwood where I'll put peanuts, and I can get images of them in nature. The feeders bring them into us, and you can present them well, like this one. This one's presented well, and I enjoy this one. But I'm hoping maybe a few tips might improve what you're trying to do in your backyard. So let's go ahead to the next one, please. Hanging flowers. The glow diffusion of this vignette is nice. It's taking out a bit of the background that I know the photographer doesn't want me to be concerned about, and it works. I like that. The focus is on the subject. There in the middle, across the two in the front. But it's not enough to draw me in. It brings me in, and I kind of get lost. I'm wondering if you lighten this up a little bit, I could see a little bit more into the picture. Maybe a half stop would add a little bit more to this. And it's a bit unbalanced because it's subject heavy on the top. And though you're wanting me to see that the stamens of these flowers hang much lower than the flower, there's a lot of, wouldn't say dead space at the bottom, but there's a lot of space at the bottom that just, I feel I'm kind of getting lost. So it's just a little bit unbalanced, but there's a lot that I enjoy this. Flowers are just so hard to photograph and to make a hard focus point. Even if if you're taking a landscape, you might have a building, a horse, something that will bring you in and focus you in on it. But even when you're isolating your subject, such as you're doing this, the viewer, the person that you're presenting your photograph, your art to, you still want to give them a subject to bring them into your image and stay in your image and stay where you want them to look, not where their mind is naturally going to be looking around and trying to find what you're showing them. So I guess we're done with the intermittent there, the color part of this. I don't even know what time it is.
It's 8:20.
Okay, AKA 20.
You're doing well.
The Field of Lilac, that's my number one. I call it the bottom, the bottom left there, number, I'm sorry, I got lost, number 30. Yeah, that's my number one.
Okay.
Is this all of them too? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Bluebirds is number 2.
What number is that?
That's going to be, it's above the sea head. Yeah. That's number 2. That seed head is number 3.
Okay.
The bleeding hearts and the purple flower, honorable mentions.
This purple flower?
Yes, yes.
All right, excellent. All right, let's start with the honorable mentions.
Okay. So that one that you have lit up, that's Bernice, and that's a Dewey Cosmo.
That's mine. And every year I plant cosmos because I love photographing them. They give you such beautiful details and you can just play with them all day long. And usually I go out in the evening to shoot these.
I love that one. I think I need to plant some cosmos. And the Bleeding Hearts is Tim Pennington.
Yeah, so those are some flowers that are in our yard, and Jeff, I perfectly agree with what you're saying about needing a little bit room on that front leaf. I just didn't notice it when I was taking the picture and didn't see until after I got back in and went back and just didn't have the original pictures to do that. So
Yeah.
Thank you. I think the problem is I'm, harder to kneel down and look at the camera and stuff and get down low than it was when I was younger. So thanks.
I understand that.
Third place goes to Jen Gonzalez. This is a bad hair day.
I love that name.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm loving all those extra ones on there.
Second place is Patricia Dad.
Thank you. I got lucky on that because they were out on the eve of the house next door when I went out with my camera, and then they came over and landed on top of the feeder bar there, and so I was outside, not having to shoot through a window, and just got a whole series of those. But that was my favorite out of it.
Yeah, I love this.
Thank you.
And first place is also Tim. Welcome Spring.
Yeah, thank you again. There's also some in my front yard, and got those with my 70 to 200 with a bunch of extension tubes stacked on top of it to
Nice.
Make it a macro. So thank you.
Gorgeous. Okay. All right, now we're going to jump to intermediate monochrome.
When I was jotting my notes down here, I'm thinking this is a cicada shadow, and I love, and I'm really enjoying that one. Cheryl, what are we looking at here?
As far as the number of,
Yeah,
there's 16 images, so there's one honorable mention.
one honorable. Okay,
Mhm.
that's what I was thinking when I was playing with this earlier. So, there's a bit of extremes on this image with the light to show the shadow. I'm thinking it might be an insect, but I'm also thinking it's probably another leaf or part of the plant itself, hidden by this leaf. The white, the glow of the leaf to show that shadow is handled well. So you have the one exposure of it on the high side, and then you have the low exposure of the branch on the other side of this, and both exposures are handled well. You don't really see that often, and I'm really impressed with that. I like the ribs in the leaf, but I really like how the higher exposure and the darker exposure are handled well in just one image. I really like that. To the next one, please. Little house sparrow. This is the conversion of this one to black and white is done well. This one here on the left, I think, is really the only one you needed in this image. I think you could have probably have cut off the image from just you know, a small portion of the tail off. It's nice to have the other bird in the background to show the group, you know, the grouping, but it's evens. It, you know, though there's two, it's kind of off with the beautiful focus and handling of the bird, the softness of the bird, but still presenting it well. Versus the bokeh, the drop off of the one it's out in the back of the focus. I think you could have cropped this one and just presented the bird on the left. But again, you know, this is I love nature, so nature's going to grab me every time. But if you could have cropped it a little bit, maybe vignetted it a little bit, you could have made that other bird disappear entirely, and that bird could have just stood out on its own. See here. Okay, to the next one. I first saw this, I laughed. I enjoy this one. This one made me. This even now I'm smiling because it's just making me laugh. It's handled very well. The conversion. I'm thinking. Looking at all the flowers that are along the lines with the skeleton, I'm wondering if this could have probably been an infrared, but with no sun, it handles different flowers differently. But maybe not infrared, but those to have the greens black, maybe it was, you know, maybe it was worked out as far as post-production, that you darken the greens in post to make those other flowers just stick out, that other vegetation stick out to make them stand out like the skeleton does. I'm wondering if you could have cropped in just a little bit to have gotten rid of that tree trunk on the upper right. I don't think it needed to be there. Over here on the left, you could have brought that in just a little bit to get that one vegetation that seems to be just cut straight down the middle. If you look straight up the skeleton's head to the very top, there's a white dash in there. And would have gotten rid of all those and just brought the focus in more to the skeleton sitting into the vegetation. But this is great. This is a fun image. When I wrote this down, I called it Skelly because it's just made me think. Okay, so to the next one, please. Another immature Cooper. This is just, I love this beautiful portrait of this magnificent raptor. This is just beautiful, beautiful bird of prey. Just makes me, I just get lost in it. Sorry. It's a wonderful visit. It's the only suggestion I would have to make this is to have vignetted this a little bit. Again, the light and darkened center, make the bird stand out. There's space to do that, to make this bird stand out. I kind of don't need to see the branch and the stuff in the upper right. I just want to see that bird. So maybe a vignette a little bit, maybe change your composition a little bit, but I'm liking the offset where the bird is into this right of it, and there's more of it to the left though. I love it. I love the spectral light in the back off off the background, all these circles, all that spectral light. This is another image, makes me happy. Right to the next one, please. The look through. I can understand what the photographer was trying to do here. It's different, but the darkening on the right is kind of offsets a little bit. I'm kind of wondering. I'm looking for something here to make more of a distinction of the subject. You can see the subject there. You can see the darkness in it. You can see all the needles, for lack of a better word for what this vegetation is, sticking out, and I like it. But I was wondering if you could have done this where there was less focus on the subject, the vegetation, and brought it to where it was more of an outline than an actual trying to bring it in. I think the outline would have worked better with this background, but I do like it. But again, I'm wanting a distinction between all of the subjects, all of the, I guess these might be little flowers, but I understand what the photographer was trying to do with this. The next one, please. Beautiful little owl. It seems a little heavy. I don't know if you used some post-processing to make the details stand out a little bit more. I wish it was just a little bit softer, because the bird seems as coarse as the branches that it's sitting on, the tree that it's sitting in, and that's not the case. So I don't know if that's where you got. I like the conversion, but it's a little heavy, and I do believe this would benefit because of the busyness of the nature. This would benefit from a vignetting to make the birds stand out more. Maybe as the picture that was presented earlier with the immature raptor in the black and white, maybe offset it just a little bit. The bird is dead center of the being presented, dead center. Maybe just a little bit to the. You don't need maybe, maybe an inch or so of the left of this, and then a vignetting would have added to this. Let's see here. The next one, please. This is showing me the effects stuff here, and I didn't see it when I was viewing these yesterday. So it's but I love the positioning of the insect, the cicada, in this with the vegetation. I like that it's down in there. It's not, and in some cases you want to get into your subject, but I believe you're into your subject well enough here that you can show its environment, and you show the environment well. The insect is dark enough to be distinguished between the greeneries and the whites. The whites up here in the front, though, are a little distracting. You could have, in order to have gotten rid of these two like little half circles in front of the insect, you could have added a bit of a vignette to it to let me get past that into the insect. I think it would have benefited from that. But you handled the insect well. It's nice. It's in focus. It's not heavy. I mean, it's an insect. It's going to be crunchy. So, and you handled it well. It's not heavy. It's for an insect. It's soft, but it's nice. So see here, the next one, please. I guess, God, I need to, okay, 8:30. Leaves and drops. This is handled well. I'm loving the unique texture of this leaf, the way it's been brought out. It's not been brought, you can see it, but it's not been brought out heavy. It's there. The droplets though get lost. I like the circling, the following of the leaf, the outline of the leaf, but they get lost as they go along. There's some there, some aren't there. I can see little dots. I can see the whole drop. The leaf is the subject, and the droplets are the necklace for it. And it works. It's well thought out. The one thing though I want to see with this image is that I want to see more of this bottom left corner. I want to. It's just. I think it's cut off too much. Not allowing it. It's kind of, the composition's nice, but I want to see more of the bottom left because of the upper right and the upper left is open. So I want to see just a little bit more. Maybe it would open it up just a little bit. So, all right, to the next one, please. So this is probably a situation where just waiting for mom to go eat and come back, and I'm going to chill, and I'm in someone's backyard, so people aren't going to bother me and freak out and call animal control that there's a lonely deer, a lonely fawn off on its own. This is perfect. You find a fawn like this time of year, you just leave it alone because mama's going to come around. This is a beautiful visit. This is a great visit. I like the treatment, but it's a little too bright in the middle. This one does have a vignette to it, but when you go to the sepias, when it comes to the exposure of the sepia, it doesn't take well to extra exposure. It's just a little bright in the center, maybe a quarter stop, half stop, I'm sorry here, I'm swatting at something that isn't here. I'm wondering if this is a visit where you could have gotten, it seems like you could have gotten down a little bit more, maybe been at its level, but you're not standing straight up and looking down to it though. I do like, it's almost straight on here, but I'm wondering if you could have gotten down just a little bit more to be more into the, more into it. And I got a note here, but I don't think, I'm not worried about this now. Now that I've seen this image again, I'm not worried about this here. So let's go ahead to the next image, please. Another seed head. The other seed head was much more fuller. So I wasn't worried about what I was going to be seeing in the middle of it, because the bad hair day, I believe is what they were called. All the seed head, all the petals of it were presented well. They were all in focus. They were nice. This here, you presented me though, the middle of the seed head, the connections to the plant, to the vegetation. And it's not in focus. whiteness of it is in focus. So I'm going around and I'm going around. I think you could have benefited from focus stacking or opening up your aperture, getting a wider depth of focus here. I want to be drawn into it, but like I said, I'm staying around in the circles of the white. Next one, please. This one made me laugh. I think, is this the one? No, this isn't. I apologize. This is cute. You know, little furry tailed. But I think the tail is more in focus than the squirrel. I want to see the focus. I want to see the focus for this one. I want to see the focus around the nose, the hands, because that's where the action is taking place. I can't see if there's something in its paw. It looks like there might be something. They might be eating a nut. So that's where I want to see the focus on. This is a little bottom heavy. I think there's too much on top. Maybe bring this out a little bit more, open it up a little bit to give the squirrel a little bit more room, or to stay close. I want to see more of the squirrel up in the image, but the focus is lost on this. The action is the hands and the mouth and the nose, and I'm seeing the top of the head and the tail in focus. To the next one, please. Uh-oh, did I miss? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Sparrow on the bar. I tried to get into this image when I was viewing it online. It seems that it's out of focus, or there's not not enough focus to draw me in. This is a small subject, and it's hard to bring me in with such a little guy and such a big frame. The whites on this are heavy. They're up to the point of being blown. I love the positioning, the position of the bird, the positioning of the bird in the composition, but for as much as you've given me here, it would have worked better with a much bigger bird. So to the next one, please. Fallen fence. This is hard to get into. It's off balance. I can't find my focus points. My focus points are to the right with the tree trunk and to the left with this other part of the fence, I believe it is. It's all in focus. So I'm thinking, might have been taken with a mobile device. But I'm off balance. I'm trying to find the subject. I'm trying to find what I need to be seeing. I'm sorry, it's not working. Everything is in focus. So I just keep going around the image. I'm sorry. It's chaotic. To the next image, please. The swallowtail. I am loving the framing of this butterfly. It's up. It's beautiful. It's presented well. It just needs focus. I wondering if your shutter speed was too. Yes, 1/25 at 7:1, and if you're hand holding this, it's going to be shaky, especially at your extended you've got your lens extended all the way out to 400. I would shoot this at center dot, focusing on the butterfly's head, its mouth area. 7.1 I'm liking, but I would take this up even to f9, f11, and I would put your shutter on high speed and just take burst. Put one single dot focus. If you're able to open up your focus point from tiny to big, you go medium there, poke it right in there, shoot and burst 3 or 4 images at a time. I love the conversion on this, but just none of it's, I'm not seeing focus where it needs to be, and it needs to be on that, it needs to be on that butterfly. It needs to be on that head, that eye, the body of the butterfly. Next image, please. I like this one. This is some flowers have just fallen off their growth and just landed onto the walkway. I like this. There are a couple things I would, if you could have gotten just a little bit lower, maybe changed your angle, maybe flattened the walk a little bit, and the stuff in the upper left, maybe you could have cropped a little bit to get rid of that, or maybe added a bit of a vignette. It's distracting. It brings my eye up there, but I like this. It's handled well. The highlights, the conversion. You got the deep darks in the brick and the texture, and you've got the beautiful whites that you're presenting it black and white in the fallen nature. To the next one, please. I think these peonies again. When it comes to the image, the softness of it, is handled well. The whites are handled well. There's a bit of elegance to this, but I'm lost. I want the focus point to get to me, to make me come in and look. And unfortunately, it's making me look through it to the middle where I can only see just a couple of the petals that are in focus, but then I get lost and I get taken into the background, and I get lost again. I love how you have darkened this image, vignetted it, darkened this image to only present the flower. I just wish there was more of the flower presented as far as the subject is. This is a bit of elegance. I like the glow. But I really want to be brought in, and I really want to stay somewhere, and I move around too much. But this is presented well. I just wish there was a focal point, a subject to bring me in. Maybe on the bottom right, clone out a little bit, but all right. So let's go ahead and look at what we have here. So I have, these are all the images, right?
Yes. Did you say one honorable mention?
One honorable, yeah. So the Cooper, that's number one. To the right of the skeleton above the seat head.
I'm looking. This guy.
Yeah, that's going to be number one. I can't see an image behind. Can I move this out of my, yeah, okay, okay, so that was a little sparrow. All right,
Whoops.
I got it. It's my screen.
Okay.
This is kind of hard. Number 2 is going to be the flower heads on the ground. I just love the jux between the hard nature and the softness of the petals.
Mhm.
Number 3 is the skeletons. And though you give me 1, I'm taking 2,
All right.
the fawn,
Okay.
and then 2 over the cicada. Those are the honorables.
Okay. So the cicada, let's see, this belongs to Jack Brennan. Oh, Magic Cicada. Jack, are you on?
Online?
There we go. Yeah, I really liked the hosta that it was in, and Magicicada is actually the name. Magicicada septendecim is what they call the 17-year flavor.
Oh, I was, if I was saying it right.
Yeah, and right there in the front yard, I just on my belly, close up, and there it is.
Making you work for
Yeah, not too bad.
it.
And this one is Tim Pennington, and this is Fawn in the Woods.
So this is just like Jeff said, last year, the year before, we had these 2 fawns that follow their mom all around, and we just happened to see them laying down when mom was off hunting or foraging or something like that, and just happened to just slowly creep up on them so it didn't startle them, and got down low and got the shot. So the other one was behind it someplace, but this was the better composition.
Nice.
Very nice. This one belongs to Fred Gillis, and it's called Waiting for Things to Grow. Fred, are you still on?
All right.
Number 2 is Tim again. Let's see, Tim. This
Wow.
one's called.
Oh, I'm here. I'm actually here. I'm sorry. Anyhow, 2 weeks before, my wife had picked up this skeleton with another bag of Halloween stuff for her stepdaughter who runs these trails. So it was at the house. And we said in the yard, so the skeleton went to the yard.
Very good.
That's all.
Clever. Okay, Tim Pennington, it's Blossoms Down.
So this is just like Jeff said, we have this flowering bush in our flower bed, and the blossoms fell down onto the ground. I just like the way they were sticking up upside down and the contrast with the hardness. This was actually shot with my iPhone 6. So,
Okay.
Nice. First place, Patricia Coopersock.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I have a lot of mourning doves in the backyard, which are about the stupidest birds on the face of the earth. And the Cooper's hawks and the red tails just pick them off left and right. So he was sitting there watching. But thank you, and I've really enjoyed all your critiques. You do such a good job on critiques.
Thank you.
Okay, and we jump to, come on. Experienced color, we have 11.
Yes.
So
Okay.
Cheryl, is it 1, 2, 3?
Yes.
Oh, three, okay.
Got dark in here. I needed to see my little sticky.
Okay, so we have this pink rose. I love the color. I love the color. These the beautiful greens. It's handled well. They're nice, and the green is nice and flat. The pink of the rose is there. They're beautiful. It's vibrant. It's not over. It works well. The light in the droplets is handled well. It's not heavy. They're not blown. The backdrop on this is a great choice for this pink and these greens that it's like a dark blue violet. It handles well. But there are some background artifacts in this with the, I don't know where that came from, maybe but there's some artifacts along the bottom of this that deter, to take away from the image. It's also, it's crowded. Rose seems to be on its last days with it bending over, but it needs give it a little bit more room at the bottom, or maybe you could have gone vertical with this, but I love the colors in this. It's just the space at the bottom. The next one, please. The dragonfly having its meal. There's some great color in this. This is handled well. This image was big enough to let me in there, and I mean, I got in there. This thing is nice and sharp, up to where it should be. The head of the dragonfly, the body, it's nice. It's not blown. The colors are handled well. It is basically green and yellow, and then you have the dragonfly and its meal. The only thing, and maybe it could just be me, this is all straight up and vertical. This might be the way you saw it in nature, but when you present it straight up like this, it's all just vertical. Maybe in post could have given it a little bit more of a tilt. So the wings are already doing it. The wings are going into the corner, but the body needs. I don't know if it's just my head, the way my head wants to see this, but maybe you tilt this a little bit, clockwise to give it a little bit more diagonal. But again, that could just be me in my head. But this is sharp. It's nice and sharp. The focus is grabbed well. It's all too, and it's handled well. So okay, to the next one, please. Purple irises. Oh, they're so hard. I mentioned that with the one earlier. When they scare me. When I see them, I don't even try to photograph them anymore. I spent a summer photographing irises up off of West Ox Road. A lady named Margaret had a couple acres where she would let people come into her iris gardens and just photograph them for as long as they wanted to. I'd get lost in there sometimes in the afternoon and evening. But I would come home. I'd almost have to strip outside because there were ticks. So after the second time, I just couldn't take it anymore as far as the ticks, as well as the irises. These are crazy flowers. They're beautiful, but to me they're hard to photograph. I love the purples in this. I love the whites, the droplets in it. There's nothing blown. There's nothing heavy. You're not going to look at the back of this. You might look at the back of the screen and see some blinkies, but it's handled well. But I need a focus in this. I'm being run through. I'm seeing here in the front with the beard, and then I get brought up into the middle with this circle above the opening where the beard is on this front leaf. You handled. I mean, you handled it well. This is you didn't. I mean, with darks of the purple and the white, it balances well. Only thing here is there's something green here on the bottom right. Just clone that out. It's the only green in the picture, and it's dark, but it's pulling my head that way. Okay, to the next one, please. Okay, the red flower with the drops. The focus is at the tip of this leaf, and I get into it, and there's so much more subject in this. I get stuck here at the tip, but there's so much more of the subject for me to see. You shot this at 3.5 on a macro lens. Open that up. Let more of this leaf come in focus. The space at the top, it needs a little bit of room to breathe. You've got that out of focus right on the edge. Give that a little bit more. I know you wanted to present the leaf, the front of the leaf well, and with the droplets and all, but you got a little bit of room on the bottom that you can give to the top. Let's see here. On the right side, on the edge, there's a little bit of white. Clone that out. Don't let my eye bring me to that. I enjoy this, but before I even saw your settings, this needed to be opened more. Don't be afraid to open it up on a macro lens. The focus plane is so tight on a macro lens. Bring it open. It let more of this. This is a beautiful leaf. It just a simple red leaf, but it's beautiful. It's got beautiful textures. There's a softness to it. It's almost like leather, but it's beautiful. But let more of that leaf on the top of it show up. To the next one, please. A little columbine, and this little. Oh, I used to know the name of this fly. Getting old, I can't remember. The soft glow on this is just beautiful. Columbine is a little violet, little lilac columbine. The whites, the yellows are handled well. The purples just add to it that little bit of patch. Calligrapher fly, thank you. I knew it was a long word. I have trouble remembering long words. So, just enough of the stamen is in focus, just enough. The leaves surrounding this and envelop, where the stamen is, and then the insect has come into it. This is joyful. This is it gives me a smile. It makes me happy. And that's what nature's supposed to do. And when you present it well, it makes people happy. One thing I want to see, I want a little bit more space on top. The leaves a little bit too close. Maybe open it up a little bit so you don't take away from the fly being too close to the bottom. But this is a nice image. Really, this is nice. And you're and you handled it well. What needs to be, I mean, even at 2.8, the stamens are in focus. The focal plane for the white tips of the leaves, they're not tack sharp, but they're enough focus to show the texture. And then as it drops off, you see the beautiful glow of what these flowers can do. If y'all got a place to put these, to grow these, I suggest growing them. They are so much fun to photograph. And then when you get a little visitor like this, that the little visitor is on that focus plane as well. It's not tack sharp, but it's sharp enough because it's within that focal plane of everything else that you can see on this. I really like this. Next image, please. Cooper preening. This, I saw this, and at first I was just like, wow. The more I looked into it, it's called a columbine. That flower was a columbine. I love the action. The bird isn't just sitting up on the thing looking around for a meal or watching what's going on. It's engaged in itself. It's cleaning itself. It's I love this. I love this bird. The treatment given to this too is great. I kind of like how the branch and the trunk frames into this. But I'm wondering, I did it earlier and I thought I would be able to show it. But I think cropping into this image more to just show more of the bird would have been a better presentation. It's great to show the bird in its environment. I want you to crop into it more. I want to see more of the bird in its environment. The bird is the subject of this, and I want to see I want to see it just a little bit bigger in its environment. This tree is crazy. Its tree reminds me of one of the trees that's going to grab your butt off the yellow brick road. It's got, just the branches, but you could have cloned some of this stuff out to not make it so busy. This branch that comes down right above its head, I would have cloned that out, but that's me. But I enjoy this image a lot. I didn't write down much because this image just made me happy when I found it, when I saw it. So let's go ahead to the next image. Little beautiful bluebird in the morning light, nice catch light in the eye. It's a soft, natural light. This has got to be the morning. This has got to be the morning sun. Maybe it could be the afternoon, but morning sun is more blue. Evening sun is more warm. So I'm saying this is a morning. This is a cool light. It's not a heavy. It's not a warm evening light. I'm wondering if you could have cropped in just a little bit. That branch along the top, it comes in from nowhere and goes out to nowhere. I don't think it needs to be here. So I don't know if maybe you could have cropped in or cloned it out, but the bird, it's beautiful. The light is beautiful. The growth, the new growth off that tree branch is beautiful. It just there's a lot to like. I don't want to see that branch on top though. To the next one, please. I guess this is I'm not sure, peonies again, maybe. But there's just a slice of light on this, and then it gets lost. With this being in the yard, I wonder if you had a better opportunity to get more light on the flower, to make it pop, make it more presentable with the dark background. I'm wondering if you had if this set in an area that allowed you to do that. I think this was an image I tried to get into. There is a focus point on here that just goes kind of just through the center of it. unfortunately, it's dark. It's hard to, I guess it's hard for me to evaluate it because it's just dark and I have that slice of light, and I apologize. I wish I could say more. But I think you just need more light on the subject to make it stand out, to make it more presentable, to make the subject be what you want your the person viewing the image, what you want them to see. To the next image, please. What do we have here? Oh, singing sparrow, song sparrow. Just this has got to be morning, beautiful light. On my comments, all I did was just make a big heart. I didn't write any words except for the name of the bird. I just got a big heart on this. This is just, this is what, getting up early and being with nature, this is what it's about. Screw the other people in your life, screw technology, just get out and enjoy it. I mean, this is what it's about. Getting up early, playing, seeing, listening. This is a Zen. This is therapeutic. This is just a nice image. Next image, please. Another sparrow, I believe. Oh, maybe, wait a minute. That beak is a little different. I think it's just a house sparrow. Again, it's like the other image. It's just happiness. It's just being out with nature, observing, and it's presented so well here. The light is coming from the back, but the bird is bright enough to see. It's not over. You get that little bit of that heavy line, but that's just on the outline of the bird. It doesn't take away from anything. If I had anything to say with this image, I'd probably clone out that greenery on the right. But other than that, this is just another heart image. This is just another feel good. Next image. And this just blew me away. It's just blew me away. This is handled so well, so beautiful, so delicate, but so powerful with those eyes. And that's what these birds are. These birds are powerful with their eyes, their bill, and their feet. But it's presented so delicately. It's for every critique that I've given tonight where I've said, I want you to draw me into your subject. Of course, there's nothing around this to distract me. But again, the photographer is bringing me into this image. The darkness on the right, the darkness on the left, it's still open. There's still light and beauty on the light on the upper left, but they're bringing me into this image. If I had one thing to say, I would have cloned out the chips and the metal and made it all black. But this is number one. This is number one tonight for this
Okay,
for this one here.
got it.
Number two is going to be that Cooper, the great beautiful texture. And number three is going to be the do I get an HM on this, don't I?
I don't love it.
No, I just get a 1 and a 2, don't I?
Or second, third.
And a third?
Yes.
Okay, you did say a third.
Yes.
As much as I want to give it to this beautiful sparrow here in the middle, I got to give it to that columbine. I got to give it to the columbine and the insect. That singing sparrow, to me, it gets an honorable, but yeah,
Honorable, we can do it.
I mean, okay, thank you. That singing sparrow is just, that's just what getting out with nature's all about.
So the honorable goes, oh no, wait, I got it wrong here. I got my numbers all mixed up. 58. This is John singing in the morning.
And that's exactly what it was.
Awesome.
Figuring out what time they were getting up, being out there and seeing the pattern that they were going into the tree and being ready.
Your complementary colors are very nice.
Yes, I agree.
Well, thank you. I wish I could say I planned it that way, but
All
Well,
worked out.
You did plan it by watching their actions.
Yep.
yeah, but you know how it is. It's like the background is the background. So
Yes, it is.
Okay, this is 54. This is feeding time for Jeff Burke.
Oh, nice. I don't think they're back on.
No,
They're in the sky.
I looked a little bit ago.
Yeah. All right. Number 2, second place. I love this.
This is Preening by Gretchen.
Very nice.
Gretchen, you online, girl?
Yeah, I'm here.
I love this. I love this.
Thank you. And thank you for your comments. Like, I couldn't figure out how to crop the tree. I wanted it to point to him, but you couldn't point unless you crop more of the tree off. And then you
Yeah.
lose the part.
Yeah. And this texture is well. I love the texture.
Yeah,
And
it
you
was a plain blah sky, and so I had to do something.
Yeah. It did. The treatment is great.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and that's just a tree that it's not technically in my backyard, but I was in my backyard, and I
Yeah.
my backyard. He's in our extended backyard. That's what we like to joke. We just don't have to mow over there.
That's why he was there.
Yes.
Nobody bothers him.
First place is You Looking at Me by Denise.
There we go.
Oh, my sister.
Yep. He's very
Gorgeous.
he's very animated, but not cartoony.
No,
What
it
kind of
isn't.
book that was?
What were you asking? I'm sorry.
I was asking if Jeff said what kind of bird it was. If he
No.
did.
Oh, this is a pygmy owl.
Pygmy.
Pygmy owl.
Super cute. Oh.
Yeah, pygmy owl. Yeah.
All right. Getting in the final stretch.
Alrighty. We have
Okay.
1, 2, and 3.
again for second, third.
All right. You write it on here. Buds petals. This is tight and it's busy. I do like the presentation. I like that you're dropping off the background and you're making me focus into this vegetation, into this flower, this bud that is opening. But it's busy. I'm lost. I don't know what to look at. It's all about the same. The front leaf tier petals, I guess I keep it seems a little heavy, a little harsh. Maybe in post to pull out the water droplets, but it also affected the nature, and it's a little tight, even though you've centered this up and darkened it to make me look into it. I think you needed to let it breathe just a little bit, because there's a bit of chaos. It's just off balance. To the next one, please. I'm thinking these might be some stargazer lilies because of how extended the stamens are, but I'm probably wrong. Again, the whites are handled. You guys have been doing a great job not blowing out your whites in these, whatever you presented tonight. I'm really enjoying that you are not presenting blown out whites to the point where it's you know, they're some of them might be at the cusp, but man, you've not gone over the edge. That's for bloody sure on any of the images that have been presented tonight, and I love it. Again, this one though it's chaotic. It's a little busy. Again, I love. I'm sorry, something got buzzing in front of my face here. I love that you have isolated this image with the darkened background, with maybe I'm not seeing a vignetting, so you've darkened the background, and I'm enjoying that, because I don't need to see what's behind it, but there is so much going on here. I can't focus. I really like what you're presenting here. I'm kind of liking the chaos. I'm loving that all these like wires are sticking out. These, you know, the stamens from the plant. On the two longest ones on the right and the left, they're right on the edge. Maybe give it a little bit more room to grow. I don't know if you've tried to, you know, I would imagine that you've tried to work this image another way. I'm really enjoying this, but I'm trying to find my focus point. Though I am, now that I'm looking at this again, I am seeing the focus point, and the focus point is almost every one of the extensions coming out of the flowers. I just had an epiphany. Wow. I just realized that if that's what you were trying to do, you did it well, because you're making me see each one of those in focus, but I'm getting lost in the middle. Wow, smack me in the back of the head. To the next image, please. Uh-oh, Ouija. And this is like, this seems to be like an African mask. This is, if that's in your backyard, I'd be moving. This is, wow. I don't know if someone's trying to curse you, you cleaned up something, but wow, this is handled well. The darks, the dark of the soil, the leaves, the brightness of the leaves, the board, the mask, it's all handled well. This is a nice conversion to black and white. I kind of get a little lost, but you still got, this is still drawing me in. And even though the board and the mask are the subject of this, I'm looking around it. I'm enjoying looking around it in the dark of the soil and looking at nature, what is nature here laying on the ground. I'm watching it, I'm looking at it, it's decomposing. And it all kind of entwines with the subject. Wow. Okay. It gives me a smile, that's for sure. Let me grab a magnifying glass. What am I saying? Okay.
I can zoom in if you need me to.
Huh?
I can zoom in with whatever you need me
No,
to.
I believe I looked at it as well that way. I wasn't sure if sometimes I can't read my own writing and I need a little help, even though I'm wearing these. I need a little help from a magnifying glass. So,
okay.
Next image, please. And when I first pulled this up, the first thing I was DAYMU. Damn. This is, wow. This is just, I didn't write anything down, a couple things to remind me something, but I didn't need it to remind me. The outline, the backlight of this image on the back fur, the back fur of those of the ear, all this fur behind it, the backlight is just gorgeous. And then to still get the beautiful, delicate part of this animal in the front, highlights a little heavy on that shoulder, maybe there on a little bit on the back, but there is so much good in this. I don't care. And but it works. It adds to it. It doesn't distract. And this was an image that I could zoom into when I was looking at it on Google Drive, and I got into the eyes of this beautiful animal, and I could see what it was seeing, what the reflections of what it was seeing. This is just gorgeous. I guess I don't have to say anything. It's okay. Next image, please. This is so adorable. This is capital A adorable. This is, she is so cute. Again, I wrote adorable. The only other thing I can think of is maybe, I think you were down, but maybe get down just, I mean, most humans, when we photograph, and we're always photographing from our point of view. But when it comes to animals, small children, get down at their point of view. I'm not, there's not really that, but I'm wondering if you could have gotten down just a little bit. But again, maybe that's a bad critique. This is what it should be. This is where a mature person is looking at their love, their offspring, or maybe someone else's offspring. And this is the view you're going to see. So yeah, forget I said getting down on the level. I don't know if you of course, you're probably following this little girl on of course, Easter. I would have, if you could have gotten this shot while in front of her, oh my goodness, that would have been, but this is adorable. I love this. Next one, please. Oh, squirrel. This squirrel. Look at the, there is, I don't know, it might be a female because I'm not seeing anything hanging, but there's a bit of audacity with this squirrel to be, I've got my nut, I'm sitting on your fence post, I've got one leg up, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, leave me alone. That's just what they do. There's some audacity to this, his stance, everything he's doing. I'm loving the bokeh in the back, the spectral highlights, the spectral circles in the back. Maybe just a little bit more on the bottom. I want to see a little bit more wood underneath his foot. So he got another acorn under his other foot. There is I think I wrote a note here, bit of focus, but I'm not seeing it presented this on this image. But so I won't worry about that note. I'm gonna cross that out. It's framed well. It's nice. Next one, please. Uh-oh, what did I do? Oh, I see. I know what I did. I was looking at the wrong comment. The squirrel. All I did was squirrel is just put on spectral. Okay, flower shadow. It's a little busy from the light on the hard left, the light on the left to the shadows on the right. I love that you saw this shadow of this flower going into that, I guess it's maybe a piece of wood, part of a fence or something, but it's a little busy. The light is a little harsh. With being in your backyard, you should be able to pick up, pay attention to the subject, see how this works in the morning, throughout the day, and into the afternoon. That strip of white on the left, it keeps taking me away from the flower. I'm wondering though too, also, if you could have went more to the left, where you would have gotten just more of the flower into the shadow. This little half circle on the bottom right, I don't know, you probably could have just cloned that out. It doesn't need to be there. It brings distraction. It pulls you away a little bit. But I'm loving that you saw this. I'm loving that you're paying attention to what's in your backyard to be able to do this. I think with a little bit more work, you'd have a much better presentation on this one. To the next one, please. Here, the cones of snow, or the snow cones, so to speak here. The conversion on this is handled well. There's nothing heavy in the blacks that takes away from it. This is like this is pine tree. Pine trees are hard, they're heavy, they're textured. Then you have the cone, which is, you ever stepped on one of those in a bare foot, or had, we used to pick them up and throw them at each other and try and hit each other in the faces with them many years ago. I'm loving the backdrop of the trees. It's got to be more trees. I'm loving the shadows of the faint sights of the trees in the background. You can see the snow falling on this. I'm kind of lost though to where the subject is, because to me the subject is coming in here and it's the pine cone, but it's at the bottom of this image. Maybe if you brought it up, you'd take the needles up. I'm sorry, I'm in my head, I'm just thinking, but I like this. I think it just needs a little bit more. To the next one, please. Spider web. It's presented square, and it's presented like in the dead center of this when there's so much of it. I'm wondering if you could have tilted it just a little bit to have it breathe a little bit more into the corners. I like the conversion. I'm loving the spectral circles in the background. But I'm kind of lost. I'm kind of lost in the focus, in the plane of focus. Because when I went into this, the webs are focused a little bit depending on how you really got to line yourself up with the web to get it in focus. You want to get web in focus so you can get that background. I love that background. I love those spectrals. The spider's not in focus. I know you're wanting to present the spider web into this with the spectrals, but there's that bit of nature there in the middle. If you would have worked with this a little bit, got more lined up, more even, more parallel to the web, I think you would have had a much better, definitely a better image. But that spider's right there and it's not in focus. And you could have been on the same focal plane with it, parallel to it. It would have worked. Next one, please. At first, I got a little lost in what I was looking at here. It's not as far as the subject, but as far as what the photographer was wanting me to see. And then I realized it was the tree line. The tree line is what is in focus. And I'm kind of digging it. But I really wish that moon, it's got to be the moon. That I'm really wishing that moon was in focus as well. Maybe do a double shot, do a layer, clone that focus moon into that tree line. The moon doesn't have to be in focus right along that tree line. That tree line's what's in focus. But that drop off at the moon is the brightest thing in here. My mind is wanting me to see it in focus as well. So maybe I've done a shot on the tree line, a shot on the focused moon, layered it in. I think it would have presented and I think it would have presented better in my opinion. Next image, please. Water drops. I like the presentation of this with the diagonal going from down here in the bottom left, bringing it across, not going straight across in a full hard diagonal like you're trying to split, like like you're trying to do a flag or something. But I like the diagonal coming into the picture at the bottom left, going through the picture and then disappearing into the upper right. The background is a little busy. I believe it could have benefited maybe from some darkening, a little bit of a vignette. There's no heavy processing on this that would, trying to bring up the water droplets that would affect the leaf. But it's busy. I'm trying to find the focus. I can see the focus a little bit through these water drops along the first part of coming into the picture, but then it loses it on the back. So maybe some darkening, a little bit of centering could have helped along the way. So don't worry about the watermarks. So I got a 1, 2, and 3.
First, second, third.
I believe it's fawn, the deer.
Okay.
Number 1. That is just pow. Number 2 is the little angel, the little girl.
Okay.
Right next to it. And then Ouija. Yeah, Ouija.
Okay. All righty. Third place is Katie with Ouija board.
Katie, is that really in your backyard?
I had to borrow a backyard since I don't have a front or a backyard.
Okay.
My friend's backyard borders on a pond, and we went down through the woods to the pond, and it was just laying on the shore. This Ouija board thing.
Wow.
You weren't out there trying to exercise 2020 and 2021 out of here, were you?
It's worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Second place is the Found an Easter Egg by John.
Yep, and that is my granddaughter and Easter of this year. And yes, I was down low, but the only way to get lower would be literally get on my stomach, and wasn't going to quite do that and piss off my wife with my
Your Sunday
Easter
best.
clothes. Say again?
Not gonna get down in the grass on in your Sunday best.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been good. But thank you.
Nice.
And number 1 goes to Jeff Burke. And it's called
Nice.
Delicious.
I'm just gonna zoom in on the eyes. That's so
And
cool.
that way through that is just pow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
definitely.
All right. All right, let's do
Oh,
the best. The best. The best. Oh, come on. Sorry, I thought I got it, but I didn't.
That's all right.
All right, here we go. Here's all your number ones.
Oh, that's right. I have 6. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh. Can you take out the raptor and the bunny, please?
Yep. Got purple and babies.
Take out the far right.
Update complete.
Take out the other. Now, do I piss off my brother or do I piss off my sister?
Right. I can composite them together. I'll put the bird on top of his head. What do you think?
I really have to make this call.
You have to do what?
I have to make this call. This is hard.
We could let everybody.
And it's not because of who I knew was behind.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
because not because of who I know who took these. It's God, they're both works of art. Damn it. Fawn.
Okay.
Fawn is best in show.
All righty.
You get it.
God. Jesus, that
Here it is.
was painful.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for
Thank you.
We love it when you
Us.
judge, Jeff.
Thank you very much. I'm glad.
Talking
I enjoy this. I enjoy this so much.
It shows.
really good one.
Yeah.
Comments.
It's nice to see everybody. I mean, it's just their backyard and they presented stuff so well. It's crazy. So.
Yep. Well, thank you, everybody. And
Congratulations.
this is our last one. So we're going to, if everyone can send anything they've gotten as first place, just send me a picture or send it to me and John, whatever you want to do. And then we will send that out over the month, and then we'll meet again June 24th. I'll send out a note about meeting, at least online. We'll meet online.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Cheryl, would it be possible to email a list out to the group of all the first, would it be possible to send out an email of all the first place winners?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Just in case anyone's lost
yeah.
track.
That's gonna be a long list. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
we
that's
do
fine.
that.
Okay.
We do post that every year. So if you want to send me a spreadsheet, I can do it because we post it on Facebook and I send it in an email.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Just first.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff, for all the great feedback and
Yeah, that
comments.
was really good. I wish that you could teach other judges how to critique. Oh, I should turn off the recording.
Leave that there.
Judging's about teaching as well. I mean, this is what the club is about.
Yeah. Yep. Very well done. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
All right.
And everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.